Let's get right into it.
Peeping the celluloid scrolls, got cinematic goals, analyzing these motion pictures that nourish the soul. From the director's cut to the final emotional stitch. Let me be frank, it's the channel that's filling that niche. We breaking down every frame with a critical sight, putting the truth about the silver screen under the light. No holds barred, we keeping it raw and authentic. Let me be frank, yeah, this show is about to present it. Alright, it's time to start the show.
Jack Nicholson said, "I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me." In 2006, Martin Scorsese took us to South Boston, a land of heavy accents, deep-seated Catholic guilt, and a line between law enforcement and the streets that's damn near invisible. The Departed is not just another mob movie. It's a 150-minute pressure cooker. It's a story about two men living the same lie, both playing a game of cat and mouse where both men are the cat and both men are the mouse. It's the film that finally got Martin Scorsese his long overdue Oscar. It features one of the most chaotic Jack Nicholson performances of all time, and it's packed with hidden symbolism that lets you know who's gonna die long before the trigger is pulled. To understand The Departed, you have to understand the two pillars of the film, Billy Costigan and Colin Sullivan. Scorsese pulls a brilliant bait and switch. Billy Costigan, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, comes from a family of Southie thugs, and he tries to outrun that shadow by becoming a police officer, while the system he wanted to participate in is the one that drags him back into the gutter to be their mole. Then you have Colin Sullivan, played by Matt Damon. He's the golden boy. He's polished, he's smart, and he's quickly climbing the ranks of the Special Investigations Unit. But he is a shell, a hollow suit being operated by none other than Frank Costello. The brilliance of the writing is that Billy is a good man pretending to be a monster, while Colin is a monster that is beginning to believe his own lie. But holding the strings of both men is Frank Costello, a man that doesn't care about the law or the streets. He only cares about chaos. We have to talk about Jack Nicholson. By 2006, Jack Nicholson was an absolute icon, but his portrayal of Frank Costello is something entirely different. It's chaotic, it's filthy, it's actually kind of scary. Reportedly, Jack Nicholson thought that the original script for The Departed, the mob boss was very standard, and he wanted to give a little bit more than that. He wanted Costello to be unpredictable. He wanted this beautiful blend of luxury and filth. He wanted to showcase what a man who stayed in power too long actually becomes. Someone who has genuinely lost their mind. He brought his own props to set. Jack also improvised lines that scared even his co-stars. He's a philosopher of the gutter. He represents that environment that he spoke about, but there's a deeper layer. See, Frank Costello is based off the real-life Boston kingpin, Whitey Bulger. And just like Bulger, Costello has secrets. A secret that makes him the biggest hypocrite in a movie full of liars. If you've watched The Departed a dozen times like I have, you'll notice certain symbols that keep popping up throughout the entire film. See, Martin Scorsese is a student of cinema history, especially the 1932 Scarface film. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. There are hidden X's within the architecture, the lighting, and the set design of almost every major death scene. It's Scorsese's way of telling the audience whose fate has already been sealed. Because in this world, Providence has already decided your fate. And after a while, you begin to understand that you're not just watching a movie, you're watching a 2-hour funeral procession. It adds a subconscious layer of dread around Billy and Colin, like the walls are closing in around them, because they are. And then there's Dignam. If Billy is the heart of the film and Colin is the brain, then Mark Wahlberg's Dignam is the fuck you. In a film where everyone is pretending to be someone they're not, Staff Sergeant Dignam is exactly who he presents himself to be. An aggressive jackass.
Without asking for too many details, do you have anyone in with Costello presently?
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself. My theory on feds is they're like mushrooms. Feed them shit and keep them in the dark. Girls, have a good day.
Normally, he's a very nice guy. Don't judge him from this meeting alone.
Ironic, isn't it, that in the end, the only person that can provide true justice in this situation is a person that the police department deemed too toxic to keep around. This moment speaks to the bleakness of Scorsese's vision. To survive in this version of Boston, you can't live a double life. You can barely even live one. And then there's the elevator.
Kill me. Just fucking kill me.
I am killing you.
In most Hollywood films, the good guy gets one big monologue, a cool fight scene, and he gets to ride off into the sunset happily ever after. But not in this one. Billy Costigan does not get this moment. Why? Because in the world of The Departed, being right doesn't make you bulletproof. This scene genuinely shocked me and audiences when we first saw it in 2006 because it felt so abrupt. It was so sudden. You see, these men spent years crafting their lives around these lies for them to be shattered within seconds by a character we barely know. I would mention his name, but I actually don't remember who the character was that kills him. It's the punchline to a very, very dark joke. The final shot of this film is one of the most debated of all time. The rat running across the railing. Some people feel that it was too on the nose for what the movie was about. I actually think it's perfect. It demonstrates the corruption that not only affects the Southie neighborhoods, but it goes all the way to the state capitol. So 20 years later, where does The Departed fall in the pantheons of films? Well, it is the movie that finally got Martin an Oscar, not because it was a Lifetime Achievement Award, but because this was a masterclass in tension, acting, and pacing, and pure, unfiltered vision. It took the Hong Kong classic Internal Affairs and gave it the old Boston twist. It's a movie about the cost of living a lie. And 20 years later, it still hits like a freight train. But I want to hear from you. Have you seen The Departed? I sure hope so. What did you think of all the symbols? Did you catch them on the first time, or did you miss it like I did? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me on this video. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. One of the reasons I started this channel is because I wanted to talk about this movie. So I hope that I was able to do it some justice for how absolutely amazing this movie is. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next video.
I got this rat, this gnawing, eating